Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Juliet McNeil Crafts. So today is another hashtag Altogether Now project, and again I am doing some stash busting. So ages ago, probably at the beginning of last year, I started making like a paper version of the fabric snippet rolls that you get. So these are ones that I had done with the end of just ends of bits of paper that I had, and so I had done 3. So these are all sort of like a vintage looking ones that I have done, and so I just thought what I would do is I would attempt to make another couple, which I will do on camera with you today, and then maybe in another video we can use up the snippet rolls in a project. So a great way of using tiny bits of scraps. So I am just going to get a few supplies out and then we can play together. Okay, so the first thing I have is this long strip of paper. So what this is you know, sometimes if you use a wrapping paper roll, it's rolled round a bit of sort of craft paper, that I've saved those and chopped them up so that I can get the best length on them. So that's what that is. And I have just kind of pulled out a few scraps of coordinating paper. So what I'm going to do first is create myself some little sort of fancy edges with this Martha Stewart punch. And then I'll maybe do that on fast forward, and then we can sort of start building it together so my desk isn't looking too cluttered for you. Okay, so the last couple of things I'm going to do, I have got paper pads like this with sort of little bits and bobs on them that can be used. So I am just going to cut those out so that I have elements that can be features. So I'm going to just grab myself a few of those. I've also got my bit box to the side of me, and I will go and grab my box where I keep my odds and ends of die cuts. And then after that we can get started building it all together. So I do find this like quite a fun way of using up scraps without kind of having to overly think too much. It's just a case of sitting and having a play. So I'll just get those final bits ready and then we'll start assembling. So I'm just going to show you all the bits I've got. So those are bits from my bit box. Those are some die cuts, so I'm just going to put them to the side, but I'm going to take them off screen so the desk isn't looking too cluttered. I've got my strips of paper here, I've got some flour, some sentiments, I've got these bits and odds and ends of paper, and I've also got odds and ends of ribbons that aren't enough to sort of spool round onto something. And I have my sheet of paper, so let's get started. So like everything else, I do still sort of like to add the distress inks and things around, because I do find that it's that sort of thing, you know, I kind of said before that if you're doing something that you know, it does look like you've put a mishmash of odds and ends of papers together, but if you can sort of have something that blends it together, so in this way you're going to have that the pop of these 3 primary colours sort of blending things together, that'll make it look like it's meant to be one. And then the idea of this is that once we have the strips made, that we can just chop it up as required and make something with it. So my glue is not going to play ball. Okay, so I zoomed in whilst I was getting my camera to work. So again, I've got odds and ends like this, and I'm not even going to think. I think I quite like projects like this. It's a bit like when I do the journal pages, and I was saying if you don't know what you're doing, just slap colour on a background. It's that sort of thing, that it's taking away that white space, and sometimes that's where the fear factor is. And it also just feels good to be using up odds and ends of scraps. It just feels good to be to be getting that done. So basically I'm not thinking, I am just going to be plonking stuff down as and when it sort of suits me. So some of it I do in little small bits, other bits I might just do like this and kind of cover up a bulk of the what do you call it, the strip, so that we're not seeing the brown, and then you can add little bits and pieces. So again, I might want to sort of just go in like so, and then see, now I've not punched that overly well. There's a bit of a gap, but once it's tucked in, we can just tear off the bit that doesn't work overly well. And sorry, I have a feeling that somebody might be calling my daughter, so I'm just going to pause a second. Sorry, that's my daughter's wee friend, because they're both quite young. They don't have their own phones and things, but obviously with being in lockdown, it's still important for them to have a bit of association and friendship together. So my phone quite regularly gets commandeered. Just also noticed I've got these paper clay embellishments as well. So I'm literally just going to keep building this up. Now this is kind of losing a little bit of contrast for me, so on this flower I'm going to add some pink, and as I said, I'm not overly thinking about it. I'm just going to stick things down, and gradually as I fill it up, move over. Now that's looking a bit too samey now, so I might just put a, sorry about the noise. We're into play mode. It's funny, they were all having a Zoom. There was 3 of them having a little Zoom play date that we set up for them the other day, and I came back down and Kezia had got into my makeup. Came down to be faced with bright red lips. Real 80s look. I've got quite good makeup too. I think I was quite good at doing the old makeup, but she managed to get hold of it and look well dodgy, so it was very entertaining to see what they're still managing to get up to, but I still think it is important. So yeah, so whilst I'm just still crafting away here, I'm just going to kind of keep going for a little while on normal time, as it were, and then I might just sort of speed up as I'm doing the rest of the roll, because you'll be getting an idea of what I'm doing, and I don't want it to get overly repetitive or particularly boring for you. So I'm aware that I want it to remain interesting and fun. But whilst I'm still on real time, are you enjoying this? Is it useful seeing different ways to use up your scraps? Or are you just thinking, Julia, can you please do something else? Because I suppose it's my mission. It's my mission to try and get some stash busting done, and to want to, use up the stuff whilst we're in lockdown. But it might not be everybody else's. I was watching our Sarah the other day. I've not actually commented on her video yet because I've not watched all of it. But she was saying that she's bought herself some kit and clouder classes, and she's going to be concentrating on doing a bit of colouring in and learning a bit of colouring and stuff like that. So it might be something that you've had on your list to do and thought, I'd love to do that, and you might want to give it a try. Do you know one thing I would really love to give a try is encaustic art. I've seen it a few times, and I do really fancy giving it a try, but it's not something that I've not even got round to purchasing it, so I don't think we're in the realms of being able to purchase, because I don't imagine an encaustic kit is an essential. I was wanting to make up little crafting kits for some of my daughter's friends, but obviously we're in isolation, and I'm not out of isolation by Tuesday, but my husband's just had a text saying that the rules are getting even stricter, so I was hoping to kind of pop past and put stuff on their doorsteps. for them to craft with, especially as we're kind of hitting the holidays now. I think it would be quite nice for them to have something to play with. And I have a plethora. I have all my own stuff, but I've also got a load of stuff that I've inherited. So I kind of feel that it'd be quite nice to pass some of that on. But I'm not sure. So anyway, are you enjoying this series? That's what I was wanting to ask, because I'm enjoying it, but if you're not, then there's no point in me making the videos. I may as well make something else that you do enjoy. Out of the videos that I make, what are your favourite style? Do you like card making? Do you like journaling? Do you like the process videos? Do you like the variety that I just kind of keep mixing it up? What sort of things do you enjoy? Because, as I said, there's absolutely no point just sort of keeping going with what I find fun. I think there is to a point, because there's no point in making a video that I don't find fun, because that'll come across. I think kind of having, enjoying yourself and having fun and everything, that kind of shines through. If you're not, then there's kind of, there's not really much point in it then. And, you'll look bored, you'll look disinterested, and nobody wants to watch somebody that's bored and disinterested. If you're watching somebody, it's normally because of their enthusiasm and because they inspire you. So I still want to be doing stuff I want to do, don't get me wrong, and I will continue to do stuff that I want to do. But I'd quite like to be, doing stuff that you enjoy as well. So, this is literally what I'm doing. I am just picking up bits and pieces from the various boxes around me, between my die cuts, my punched flowers, my little edges. I am edging it with an appropriate ink colour as I put it down. I am literally using up tiny scraps. So this is a really good way of stash busting, of doing it like that, because you are just able to use the tiniest amounts of scraps that maybe would get thrown in the bin, which is why I quite enjoy it. But I think what I will do is I'll just pop you on fast forward. I've also got these just happen to be on my desk, bits of thread. I might even actually pull out some washies as well. I've got some washies that I've got tiny little bits of it left. So yeah, maybe something like this I could loop and pop that, just, let's see, because I've only got a tiny bit there, so it could do with being used up. So I can just take a little blob and stick that down, and then maybe put a little flower over it. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I might just have a little nosy in my washies as well, and pull out any that are on the road. And actually it might be quite a good idea if you watch this on fast forward, because it is repetitive, but also my daughter is making a complete racket down there, and you'll all be getting to hear that. So I'm going to pause now and then pop you on fast forward. Okay, so I appreciate most of this video has been on speed up, which is an unusual style for me, but I'm just going to quickly show you the snippet rules. So I just worked my way through and made sure that I covered all of the craft. The main thing that I have issue with, or I don't like, is that I don't like to be seeing like straight edges. So I was either tearing things or making sure that a flower overlapped or something or other, just so it gives it a more continuous look. And I have taken loads of different elements out from my little bit box, used up some tiny scraps. So this is a great technique for using up tiny scraps, and I do quite like doing it. So there we go, that is my make for today's hashtag all together now. I hope you have enjoyed it. What I will do is go away and make another video using this up. So details of how the hashtag all together now will be in the description box below, but basically we're just trying to craft our way through these difficult times and support each other through it. So if you have enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back again very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.